Random recordings. My first taste of cognac. My return from Bordeaux stopped off at a small village, Cognac, close to the much better known town of Cognac, where brandy came from. Cognac was best known for Hein, which had a wide reputation for being one of the best brandies. Brandy was commonly drunk at the end of a meal as an alternative to port and Stilton, although quite how this custom became established I couldn't say. Brandy had its own mythology. Terms like VSOP and fine Napoleon cognac meant everything to those in the know. Brandy was drunk in special bulbous glasses and was traditionally poured over plum pudding at Christmas and lit with a match. Brandy was also attributed with the key to reviving somebody who'd fainted, yet another of the properties largely illusory, attributed to this strong, intoxicating spirit. Cognac is fermented in oak barrels for at least 2 years, during which time a proportion evaporates. The loss in volume is known as the angel's share, la moitié des anges. My stay at Cognac included a tour of the laboratory where they like to play an amusing trick on visitors. The juice from the grape is drawn off at a point where it's practically colorless and is distilled in the same manner as gin and whiskey. It's then put into used sherry casks and begins to take on the tint of the inside of the barrel. A series of weeks. At this point, it will be the color of tea, the color it will eventually be sold as. The lab boys pour you a series of 8 glasses from colorless to the colored, and you're invited to take a sip from each. The colorless liquor is known as eau de vie, and its alcohol content is similar to gin or vodka, that is 40% approximately by volume. I was invited to taste each of 8 glasses. A small sip would do, and by the time I was halfway through, I was beginning to disappear down a whiskey pit, a whirly pit. By glass number 7 I was done, and had begun to giggle, a song taking shape in my mind, to the great amusement of the lab staff who'd gathered round. It didn't help when I stumbled into a lab stool and finished up on the floor, laughing uncontrollably. My room opened onto the vines, and a nice hammock had been erected between 2 trees. How I would spend the afternoon was assured, and I swung peacefully as the evening shadows lengthened. Somebody woke me in time for supper, and much merriment was expended over my eau de vie challenge. There was a minor sequel to my stay at the Hein distillery in Cognac. I was presented with a 40-year-old bottle to give to my father, and I carefully wrapped it in my used underpants, carefully tucked away in my suitcase. Arriving home, I proudly opened this to take out the finest brandy to be had in the whole of France. But there, where the bottle had spent the journey, its outline in broken glass. The contents gone, evaporated. I can only say the angels surely had more than their fair share on this occasion.